Good afternoon, Israel Briefers. I have my tea ready to join you. I know some of you like to join me with a cup of tea or coffee, or hey, even a cocktail. No judgment here. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Welcome to today's edition of the Israel Brief with me, Rolene Marks, in partnership with these guys, Lay of the Land, where as always, we take a look at those top stories making headlines in Israel. Today marks Day 411 since the start of Israel's war with Hamas following the atrocities of the 7th of October. Now, I think many around the world have forgotten what happened on what we in Israel call that Black Sabbath, when Hamas terrorists came into Israel, to the south of Israel, and murdered, mutilated, raped, tortured, and kidnapped Israeli citizens and other foreign nationals. Many people don't realize that amongst the victims, both murdered and taken hostage, were Muslims, Druze, Christians, Jews, Buddhists, Hindus, people of all religions, and people from many different countries. And as we say here in Israel, this is not just our fight. We might be on the front lines, but our fight is everybody's fight against a vicious enemy. To date, 101 hostages still remain captive in the dungeons of Gaza. We need them back. We need them back immediately. And I know so many of you out there are praying. So a special hello to the Israel Briefers from all around the world, including the Scottish Highlands. So gorgeous to see pictures and to hear where you are all from. Oregon, California, South Africa, Ireland, everywhere, and it really warms my heart. So to that I say l'chaim, and I'm going to have a sip of my tea. I promise you it's not a prop. There's real tea in this mug. So let's take a look at the top stories, and we begin with news that it looks like a ceasefire might be possible between Israel and Hezbollah. As you all know, Hezbollah has been attacking Israel since the 8th of October 2023, and over 60,000 Israelis still remain evacuated from what's left of their homes. If you have seen the footage, you will see many of the homes, especially in cities like Kiryat Shmona, are completely decimated, and not a day has gone by without rockets, drones, projectiles being fired from southern Lebanon into Israel in clear violation of UN Security Council Resolution 1701. Just a short while ago, we had rocket alerts for Metula and the areas around there. So what we do know is that Amos Hawkin, he is President Biden's special envoy to the Middle East. He arrived in Beirut yesterday. He was due to be in Israel today. However, he extended his trip there to hammer out the details of the ceasefire, and he is expected in Israel a little later today. We don't know too many of the details, but we know from Israel's perspective, we want Hezbollah pushed north of the Litani. We want them to be demilitarized. We want our residents who remain evacuated to be able to return safely to their homes. And we want what we call a buffer zone between the Litani River and the northern border of Israel, likely to be managed by the Lebanese army. So this is being hammered out at the moment. France, who has been very involved since the beginning and is a great ally of Lebanon, has said that the window for opportunity is open. Sky News Arabic earlier today reported that they believe about 80% of the agreement has been reached. And earlier today, it was reported that the IDF eliminated 2 Hezbollah commanders responsible for the firing of missiles towards Israeli communities. The United Nations Security Council is expected to vote today on a non-binding resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire both in the north and in the south in Gaza, where we still continue to fight Hamas, and the release of the hostages. Now, for Israel, one of the sticking points for this is that the release of the hostages is not tied to a ceasefire. The language of the resolution just calls for an immediate ceasefire and the release of the hostages. And the United States is expected to veto this, unless, of course, we are in for a shock in these last days of the current administration. From the United Nations, we now go to Turkey, where the head of Israel's Shin Bet, Ronen Bar, is reported to have made a secret visit to Turkey to discuss the influx of Hamas officials into that country. Now, the relations between Israel and Turkey, which were very warm before the 7th of October, have significantly soured. We've heard some very, very nasty rhetoric coming from President Erdogan. And just on that aside, it has been reported that Turkey is striking Kurdish targets in the north of Syria and restricted access to water for over 1 million civilians. So maybe he shouldn't opine too much on Israel's defensive wars with Hamas, Hezbollah, and the other Iranian proxies. Now, Turkey denies that Hamas have opened shop in their country. However, we have this very nebulous language coming from both the Qataris and the Turks. Meanwhile, yesterday, Erdogan said that he had refused to allow President Herzog's plane that was scheduled to fly over Turkish airspace en route to Azerbaijan for the COP29 conference. President Herzog cancelled his plans. Originally, it was cited that there could be some security concerns. And finally, let's end the headlines on a positive note. And music superstar Sia, you might know her from her hit song Chandelier, dedicated her performance of Titanium at the Anti-Defamation League star-studded bash to the Nova survivors. She changed the lyrics to pay tribute to the survivors of Nova. Now, some of the stars that were in attendance were Ben Stiller, the actor, and also Blair Underwood. If you ever grew up watching LA Law, yes, I know I'm showing my age, but I think he was on Grey's Anatomy as well. I could be wrong. I know he was on Sex and the City. Yes, I know I'm showing my age, guys, but he was there as well as Eden Golan, who performed the original version of the song Hurricane that she took to Eurovision. She performed the original called October Rain. I really urge you to Google it. Not only is she a magnificent talent, and we are so incredibly proud of her, but also the song is very, very poignant and very, very special to us. So those are top stories. Before I get into the audience question of the day, a reminder, don't forget, tomorrow is Mensch and Morons Day. Some really, really interesting candidates coming through. So send me your candidates for who you believe should be the Mensch of the week and the Moron of the week, and interchangeable. You can post it here in the comment section. You can post it via our Facebook page or via YouTube. And let's get into that audience question. And it comes from Yvonne, who says, what are Israelis doing to take care of themselves during this very difficult time? Well, it's a very, very good question, because I think many around the world forget that we are living in we're living in a state of war, and war means that all of us, including myself, are vulnerable to attacks on our homes, attacks on our safety. And just a word of advice to people, very often Israelis hear people saying to us, just stay safe, just stay safe. And if I can caution for people not to say that, because we're trying our best, it's out of our hands. The best thing to say to us is, we stand with you, and we're showing our solidarity with you, because we're not always very, very safe, as we've seen over the last now nearly 14 months. But I think, Yvonne, everybody takes care of themselves. Everybody finds their own way to deal with it. I know a lot of people are seeking mental health help from professionals. We are bracing ourselves after this war for a tsunami of mental health crises. I know for myself, I need to take time out to go to the gym. I need to take regular news breaks. I think it's important for all of us. We are so inundated with so much information. So I like to take regular news breaks. And I like to watch nonsense TV. And as I said to you a couple of weeks ago, I practice sleep hygiene. So that works for me. But different things might work for other people. I know a lot of people like to meditate. Some people find that the way that they are coping with this is to increase their volunteer work. So we all have our ways of doing it. But what we really are trying to do as a nation, as a country, is to try and really help each other through it. So thank you for the question, Yvonne. It's so greatly appreciated. And a reminder, if you have a question, please pop it in the comments section below or via Facebook or our website. And speaking about that, you can check us out on the internet at www.layoftheland.online, on Facebook at Lottel's site, on YouTube right here at the Israel Brief. If you like our content, please subscribe, invite your friends to as well. We are on X at Lay of the Land 5, on LinkedIn at Rolene Marks, on Instagram at Rolene_Marks. I'm sure I'm not forgetting anything. And guys, I will see you again tomorrow for another edition of the Israel Brief. God bless you all. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And l'chaim, to life, to all of you. Bye for now.